maybe
Cool.
how.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, go for it.
Right, guys, thanks for listening. First of all, my name is Rob Blackburne. I'm a mindset coach for footballers. I've helped footballers off the pitch to help improve their game on the pitch. So I'll tell you how I get into that. So I'm going to go a little bit about my backstory, which is I started as a trainer many years ago, and then I worked into nutrition, functional medicine. So I'm going to give you the short backstory, okay? And then what happened is one of my mates got really ill. I ended up, he had motor neurone disease, so I become his carer. So, and then my mum got really ill, so I helped look after her. And then from that, I was basically in massive denial that I was struggling because us blokes put on a massive front and we have huge egos. So what I did was I told everyone I was okay when I didn't. So I had a massive meltdown, and that kind of started my mindset journey. So now, after that, what I did was NLP, Masters NLP, CBT, read shitload of books, helped as many people as I could, realize there's patterns of behavior for different people, worked in football clubs. So after I worked in football clubs, footballers started reaching out to me. Agents started reaching out to me. Before you know it, it spiraled. And now I speak to loads of football. I help footballers. I help people want to be footballers. Written a book. I do a podcast. So that's my backstory. Basically, I was full of shit. Oh, am I allowed to swear? I'm allowed to swear.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Cool. I was full of crap. I was full of ego. I wasn't willing to be vulnerable, which is now one of my biggest strengths. So most people aren't willing to be vulnerable. They're not willing to admit weakness. So that was my journey into the mindset space. And as I said, as I've transitioned from personal training to nutrition to mindset, what you realize, even going back, because I know you're all on Johnny's plan now, the reason why you can't get to where you want to be is because of your mindset, which is like the definition I like to use is your beliefs and assumptions that your behavior conforms towards. So what you believe in and assuming to be true, and then your behavior will change towards that belief. Say, for example, I used to have people go, I can't never get past 13 stone. So they stand on the scales and they'd never get past 13 stone. Believe it or not, it comes to self-fulfilling prophecy. So the reason why you can't do what you want to do, listen, you know what to do. You've got the mentor, you've got the tools. The reason if you're struggling to get anywhere is because of this thing and how this thing works. You don't know how to control it properly, which most people struggle with. You're not given an instruction manual on, like, imagine you have the most complex bit of kit in the world and they go, figure that out on your own. Right. And that's basically what happens. It's like, here's the most complex bit of kit that we never understand in the world. Go figure this shit out.
Yeah.
And we never get taught that. We never get taught that in schools. We get told Pythagoras theorem. We get told what meanders are. We get taught like all this stuff. We don't figure out how this thing works and how anxiety works and how our thoughts work and how our belief systems work and how our assumptions work. So basically what I do is I don't solve problems. I dissolve them by changing the way you think and changing the way you think and then questioning your thoughts. So I believe coaching is all about asking the right questions. So when I speak to someone, I can listen to their language, watch their body language. I know the outcome here. And then my aim is to direct them in the way that I want to direct them. So I'll meander them. I like that word. Right. I meander them in the direction that I want by asking the right questions. If I ask the right questions, I get the right outcome.
Yeah.
So that's all it's about, really. That's pretty cool.
So
that's the short version. I've got a 30-minute version of that
as well. a 24-hour version. It's interesting you say about the like, here's the most complex thing, go and figure it out, like a brain IKEA flat pack. So my first question, my first question to you is, like, people know the answers, right? We've discussed this many times before with respect to recipes, workouts. There is so much free information. Like, how do you tell your mind to, or encourage it to do those things? I mean, I know a lot of the time it's about accountability and like an offset of, like, there has to be an exchange. So generally when somebody pays for something, there is that level of like, well, I'm in now, like I have to try and follow the path.
People who pay attention.
Right. Yeah.
That's the truth. People pay attention. And the other thing is, like, how do you do it? That the question comes down to pleasure or pain, right? It's pretty simple. We do things. We are comfort seeking creatures. We want to seek comfort. And I spoke about this last night on a webinar. So basically, we want to preserve as much energy as we can. So you're fighting all your natural instincts. As I said, this brain that you've got we're shiny brand new iPhones with like the software of the first phone ever.
Right.
So you're fighting against that, right? And it wants to keep you safe. So it wants to not work as hard as it can in case it has to expend calories. If it works hard, then it expends calories, and there could be a famine coming. We might not be able to eat food for God knows how long. So we need to save calories. So you're fighting against all your natural instincts. So the whole point is we seek comfort. We seek the easy path. We seek the easy route. So if you've got a road and it's called take the path of most resistance, you've got a road and it paths off and this is the comfort route and this is the most resistance. What most of us do is we take the comfortable route. We go, right, going to do 5K this morning. It's a bit wet outside. I'm a little bit tired. I probably won't get my best time. And then you'll start telling your stories.
Wind direction.
Yeah, wind direction. Do you know what? I'm going to put it off till tomorrow. I'm going to take the comfortable road rather than that path. It says the path of least resistance, the most resistance. That's the path we need to take. It's the path that goes, I don't want to do that. That's the path you seek. Another saying, if you do it as easy, life will be hard. If you do it as hard, life will be easy. So do the hard stuff because you're always fighting against it. It's like, here's a cookie. And it comes down to pain and pleasure. We're seeking constant pleasure. Hence why we get this thing and we go flick, 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 flick. And we look for our likes. We look for constant dopamine hits that are quick. And we want things that are nice and easy. Like, you have to remember, right? We've got Amazon Prime, so we can order something and get it now. We go on Netflix, we can get now. We can get anything we want right now. But the things that still take time, right? Fat loss, relationships, building businesses, muscle gain, they take time. You're not going to get the quick dopamine hits in that because it's hard work. We want the quick wins. So it's remember, like, pain and pleasure, right? So most people go, what happens if you do it? What's the benefit? Right? What's the pain if you don't do it? What happens if you don't do it? Like, I'll give you an example. My auntie, a little bit overweight, she comes to me and she sits down, she's eating cream cakes and she goes, Rob, I've got diabetes. And I'm like, amazing. What a gift. What a gift for you. That's an amazing gift. She's like, why is that good? I was like, well, you need to change your lifestyle because you're getting older, shit's going to hit, like, especially now with COVID, if you don't lose weight, it can kill you like this. So it's amazing that you've got diabetes. That's going to make you change your lifestyle. That puts you into pain. Not enough pain because she's still the same and she's eating cream cakes and she comes around. I'm like, how's that diabetes going? No, I haven't really done anything. I'm like, you need to lose a leg. Do you know what? Just one leg will be good. If you could lose one leg, that would be great. 2 legs might be a bit too much, but to put yourself into pain, if you lose, or just a foot, if you lose a foot, then that would put you into pain.
Yeah.
What happens if you don't do it? I'm like, what happens if you don't change your lifestyle? Well, I could die. I lose my legs. I won't see my granddaughter. Pain drives us. The reason why you signed up with Johnny is because you was in pain. But what happens is we seek comfort. We're in that pain, right? We get out of pain. We get to comfortable. And then we go back to where the habits we were in. And then we go back to there and we go back to pain. Then it ends up cycling round and round and round and round. It's a bit like money, for example. We go here, we're in pain. We're like, no, got no money. And then we suddenly start making money. We're like, oh, I'm comfortable again. Stop doing the things that you did to get to here. And then you go back to here, back into pain, and the cycle continues.
Yeah.
Around and around and around and around. Same thing, fat loss. Get to here, comfortable. I'm not too bad. Like, right, you're not getting laid or not having sex. You don't look good in the mirror. Well, you're like, do you know what? I probably would. Go back to where I was. And that's how it continues. Around and around and around and around. Sound familiar?
Yeah. For me, I'm sure I get it. Well, I get it lots in the DMs and just people I speak to on a daily basis. But I think it's I've got 2 questions based on that. One, how do you push past that sort of like pre-66-day habit break and to loop? How do you stop the self loop-de-loop? And then also, how do you recognize the actual pain you're in? What are the questions you ask yourself?
Well, you know, if you don't need to ask yourself, you know if you're in pain or not. It's a feeling. We're based on feelings, right? We're emotional creatures. The pain is a feeling, but how do you pass push denial?
Yeah,
you're full of shit. Start telling the truth.
Yeah.
Like, most people full of shit. Most people tell lies. They want to lie to us. You can't help someone who's full of shit. You can't help someone who's full of shit. People are full of shit. Like, I'm fine. It would never happen to me. My dad was full of shit. And he ended up I was like, Dad, you're going to have a heart attack. Dad, if you don't do something, listen, don't wait for pain to be proactive rather than reactive. So we want to be proactive about situations. Let's talk about, for example, my dad. I was like, listen, you need to go out for walks. You need to do this, start eating healthier, because the shit will hit the fan and it could kill you. You end up having 2 heart attacks while he walked dog and had a stent. I'm like, he's now reacting to that, and then he lost weight. Why wait for that shit to happen? It's like, listen, you either be proactive or reactive. It's up to you. For example, let's take mental health that I deal in, right? Or with footballers. I'm like, listen, why are you waiting for the shit to hit the fan? Be proactive about it. First thing in the morning, listen, your mental health and your physical health, people have a stigma about mental health. Mental health is the way you think. That's it. That's it. You need to train the way you think, same as you train your body. We train our bodies, we go to the gym. Don't get guns like these, right? By just like, right? Don't get guns like that. Don't get bad like that. Don't get bad boys like that. But you go to the gym to train, to put stress onto the muscle, right? You put tension onto the muscle adapts and it grows. The brain, same process. Stress, tension makes you adapt and grow. But people go, stress is bad. Again, that comes down to a belief. Stress is bad. Or is it? Is it good? Every time you got through stress, did you grow more? Every time you've been through adversity, did you not get better?
Yeah.
Did you not grow through it? Like, at the time, like, we've had phone calls, you'd be like, oh, Rob, I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with that. You've gone past that point, you've grown. Past that point, you've grown. You got to this point now, you've grown more. And you've learned as you've gone through it. So the whole point is you have to put stress on it constantly, constant stress. But you have to preserve your mental health. Your mental health is, you have to train your brain. You have to put techniques and tactics into your brain. You've got tools you use, same as you've got tools in the gym to use to get a different adaptation. Same happens with the brain, but we go mental health. Oh my God, mental health. It's just the way you think. Like, I will train my physical and mental health in conjunction, so I continuously move forward. And I forgot the first question you asked me.
We knew
I've gone off on a tangent. Yeah, I do that.
How do you push through the sort of the loop-de-loop of, like, okay, so I'm in pain, I know I need to do something about it. You're off. Get a coach, whatever it might be. Then you get to a point, maybe even past the 90 days of working either with somebody like yourself or with me, and then you go, okay, yeah, I'm all right. I've been given all the tools. I've been led down the path for 90 days, for example. How do you stop the loop-de-loop?
You constantly reset. So every day, 90 days, I set my goals. 90 days, reset. I'm here. I move forward. What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? Like, the pain of going backwards drives me. The pain is, I'm a leader. I've got to show people the way. Like, if you're doing this program, you're leading yourself first, so you're a leader. So it's like, you constantly have to push forward. People think there's a finish line, right? Life is an infinite game. There's no finish line until you hit the end. So football's a finite game. You have 90 minutes, you have a score, right? You have a score finishes, you have a league table, okay? In life, right, I create scoring systems. So every 90 day we have a scoring system. So we gamify it. So we have a 90-day game, we reset, we set our next 90-day game, and that continues forever. It never ends. And then I put, like, for example, you have to put an intention on it. For example, in March, I did 2 marathons in a row with a £50 backpack on. Like, did I want to do it? No. God, no. The reason I did it is there was this kid who couldn't walk, and I told the parents that I was going to raise money for this kid by this date. So I had something to aim for. And every time it was like Sunday or Saturday, and I was like, fuck, I've got to go for a 3-hour run cross country with a backpack on it. It's pissing down with rain. I was like, and I remembered, I was like, but I can walk, I can run. This kid can't. Like, I've got to get this kid to America. This is my responsibility to get this kid to America now. I said I was going to do it. Put in your big boy pants and get the fuck out there. Stop pissing and moaning.
Yeah.
Remember, your feelings, the whole point is your feelings will want to screw you. You want to take the path of least resistance, as I said. You want to preserve calories. You won't want to do the hard work. You want to do what's easy. That's what you want. So you got to go reset. Let's reset. What do I want? It's a process-driven result. So I'm here, for example, 90 days ago, I was like, I'm going to write a book. How do I get from here to here? What's the process I need to put in place to get to here? So I'm going to get to a #1 Amazon bestseller. I'm telling you now. There we go. I've just made myself accountable. Right? I'm going to get to an Amazon #1 bestseller. What's the strategy I use to get from here to here?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm a #1 Amazon bestseller. What's the strategy I get from here to here? So first of all, it's like, how do I go from? It's constantly saying, how do I go from a coach in my local area that everyone knows and respects, who's a personal trainer and a nutritionist and a mindset coach, to being the #1 mindset coach for footballers? It's overwhelming, right? But you break down the journey. It's like stairs. You take one stair at a time. You don't go from the bottom of the stairs to the top of the stairs in one leap. It takes time. Yeah. You just realize it's like, right, I've got a couple of footballers that I'm helping. I'm going to put out a questionnaire and say, send that to 5 footballers. What you're struggling with? Do you want help for 6 weeks for free? Cool. That's my first journey. My first 90 days is to get, my first 30 days is to get 5 footballers, 6 footballers. The next 6 to 8 weeks, I'm helping these footballers and getting a testimonial. That's my first result. Right, I've got a testimonial. Now, what do I do? What's the next step? Right, I'm going to create a podcast and have these footballers on it, and they're going to talk about me. When these footballers talk about it, football is an eternal game. They're going to start speaking to people, and people are going to reach out to me. That's the next one. That's the next step. Create a podcast, get it high up the charts. Cool. What's the next step? The next step is, from the podcast, what I'm going to do is I need to get footballers working in the group, charging them money. So what I'm going to do is create a course. I'm going to create a course. I'm going to create a course, but I'm not going to create the course. I'm going to get them to pay up front and then create the course as I go. That's the next 90 days. So I'm going to be paid this much by professional footballers to then create a course. So I ain't just going to do it for free. I'm getting paid for it. Fuck that shit. So I go from there to there. Now I need these footballers. I've got more footballers. They're going to come on the podcast and they're going to recommend me from here to here. So as I'm going, it's like from here to here. Next step, I was in an article on Sky last week. How do I get my profile bigger? So Sky interviewed me. So there's an article on Sky that's taken my profile up more. So as I'm doing the journey, I started from here, and it's the process from here to here, from here to here, from here to here, from here to here, and it never ends. As soon as you get to there, you're like, oh, I've done it now, and you rest on your laurels and become comfortable, which I've done in one of my last companies with AstroTough. I was like, oh, we've got loads of clients. That's great. I can stop advertising. I don't need to advertise now. A few people drop out and go, and then you go back to there again.
Yeah.
So it's about being proactive and staying on top. Right? Other people, it depends what drives you. I use pain to drive me. It's like a bit sadistic. I'm like, I want to be like, I need to be criticized, or I want to be like, because I'll be like, do you know what? Someone criticizes me. I'm like, do you know what? Fuck you. I'll show you. Show you. I'm gonna rub your nose in it when I get to. Hang on, who's criticizing me? Do you want to read my Sky article? Fine, no worries. Have a read of that.
Yeah.
Here you go. You're criticizing me. Have a read of my book. Suck on it.
Yeah.
Bit harsh. It depends what drives you, right? People might be going, oh, I don't like this. It's not the way I work. Someone might be different. What happens? So I work by pain. What happens if I don't do it? Like, what happens if I don't do it? I live with Jet. Like, I'm going to live with Jen and Cal. I'm going to have a stepson. Like, I live in London. She lives in Liverpool. I'm moving to Liverpool. They're relying on me.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got to use that. What's the benefits if I do it? This. What happens if I don't do it?
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to go pleasure, pain. What's the pain if you don't do it? What benefits do you get if you don't? Write them down. We don't write enough down. We live in our heads. That's the problem. Everyone should have a mindset coach or a coach. Like Johnny's good at it. Like the thing is, Johnny's good at it. Use him. This is not just about physical fitness. This is about mental fitness as well. The way you think. If you're not changing your ways, and you can go deeper into. You can go a lot deeper. Going into it goes into your values, what your core, like your proper values are, not your social idealisms. So you have to link everything to your values. Is this on your values? Which is not, by the way, integrity, honesty, all that bullshit. It's not that. That's not your values. Like your actual true values, which there's a training on. If you message me, I'll give you
it. Well, you don't steal them away. No, we do.
I'll send it for free. I'll send it to
you. We do that anyway, like little compound investments. So through the 90 days, it's not trying to be overwhelmed by here's everything you need to do. It's like get one thing in the locker and then move on and then build on that, build on that. And then we keep changing and adapting, because I know a lot of people come in and say, right, I want to be at X weight at that point. That's where you say that you get there and then the loop goes back because you're like, oh, I feel great. And then you go back to it the old way you're being. So it always has to be something else that you need to be challenged with, right? So
it's a constant reset. Ask the right questions. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want now moving forward? Cool. Or the question I ask, from the last 90 days, give me your top 3 wins. 1, 2, 3. Okay, you've got 3 wins now. How do you expand on that? So lost weight, look good. How do we expand on that? Right, how do I expand on that? That's the question. Now you've already got goals. You're asking the right questions to get the right outcomes. I changed my mindset in the way I think. How do you expand on that? How do you expand on that? Where do you want to be in 90 days' time? I want to be here. And then you have your 90-day outcome, work backwards. It's not about, you have your 90-day outcome, 60-day, 30-day, well, 0 to 30, 30 to 60, 60 to 90. So it's not overwhelming. If you go, I need to lose 5 stone. No, from here to here. That's all you concentrate on. It breaks it down. Like people go, if you have a whole big book, you're like, oh my God, it's overwhelming. But if you're like, do you know what? I've just got to read 1 chapter a day or 1 page a day, like you said, the small steps, the compound effect. So that's the way you do it.
Yeah.
And just realize it's never going to be a smooth ride. Right? It's never going to go like this. What's that?
You wrote your book. I think I saw one of your stories. It was like 1 word at a time. How am I going to write X amount of book? And you just start by writing.
Yeah, I did it. So it was like, have a plan. So the plan was, my missus is going for it now, but it's like, right, create the chapters, do it like a mind map around the chapters, and they're just all pieces together rather than I've got to write a whole book. Oh my God, I've got to write a whole book, break it down. 25, in the end, I did it in 25 days. 50,000 words. And I've got footballers writing it as well, which is pretty cool.
That's amazing.
It's about, it's not though.
Is it not?
That's the thing, right? No. Everyone's like, oh, it's amazing. For example, when I did 2 marathons, everyone's like, that's amazing. If we break down that process, 2 marathons in 2 days, 50 pounds cross country. Everyone's like, that's amazing. I couldn't do it. I'm like, it's not amazing. You could do it. When I started off and I put that backpack on, I walked for 3 miles and I was in agony. I didn't even run. I walked for 3 miles. I was like, oh my God. And at first, the bullshit, the gurus would tell you, oh, just believe in yourself. Bullshit. You can't just believe in yourself. Biggest load of crap ever. You've got to give yourself evidence to get there. So as I went on, I was like, right, first step, I'm going to walk for 3 miles. I'm going to do, next week, my aim is I'm going to do 2 15-minute runs. My first 90 days, I did 15 minutes on a Saturday, 15 minutes on a Sunday. That broke that easy, right? Next week, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. A week after, 45 minutes, 45 minutes. A week after, hour. That was the first 30 days. I've just gone from a 3-mile walk to 2 hours. Next week, 1 hour 15, 1 hour 15, 1 hour 30, 1 hour 30, 1 hour 45, 1 hour 45, 2 times 2 hours. That's the next step. And then what I did, I broke it down more. I went, right, I'm going to do 2 hours in the morning, or an hour in the morning, hour in the evening, the hour the next day. So I did an hour. And when I got to a certain point, my mind went, I've got this. I can do this now. I can do it. Beforehand, did I believe that I could do it or had a goal? I wasn't sure of the outcome if I could do it. But as I went, and give myself evidence that I could do it. Before I knew it, I was running 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours. I was meant to be doing another event, which is Penny Fan running up and down a mountain, 45 miles up and down a mountain. It got cancelled. So then I had to change. I was like, right, I'm going to do 2 marathons in 2 days. As I went through that, I failed many times. When I failed, I had blisters. So I had to stop. And I was like, right, I've got to put blister packs in my bag. Then it got sunny and I burnt my head. I was like, oh my God, I need to put sun cream on. So I put sun cream on. As I was running, the sun cream ran into my eyes and I couldn't see anything. I was literally blind and my eyes are still a bit ruined from it, right? So I was like, right, I've got to get the right sun cream. Failed again. But I found this P50 for kids. Doesn't hurt, doesn't run into your eyes. Next thing you know, I'm running for a couple of hours. I need to go toilet. I need to go for a poo. Oh my God, I need a poo. Right? So I had to have wet wipes and toilet paper in my bag. So I'm running cross country, right? Next thing you know, what's the next one? Trainers are rubbing. They're not the right trainers. The socks. I had to change my socks. So every time I went out, I learned and I failed. Every time I failed, and failure is just learning. That's what it is. When I got to that event and everyone went, wow, that's amazing. I'm like, it's really not. You didn't see me when I couldn't run because I had blisters. My toenails fell off, sun cream in my eyes. I was squatting in bushes. Like you've just seen, wow, you've just seen the end bit, not the bit where I was running in the pissing rain. People go, that's amazing. It's not like that writing a book. It's not amazing. It sounds amazing, but it's just, okay, from here to here, what I'm going to do is spend 2 hours a day writing, one word at a time, build it up, build it up, build it up. And then it's still not amazing because Jen's going through it and she's like, this is rubbish.
So why is it
going logical order?
Yeah. Why is it then people that I was just guilty of it just then. I say it's amazing because it's a marker of a good feat, right? So 2 marathons in 2 days is incredible if we want to mark it like that. But for you, the way you break that down makes it easier. So why is it that people, is that where we're going wrong? Do we not break things down enough in the way that you do? So
it
then seems so big. Yeah, the result is the amazing thing. Yeah,
we just want the result. We want that. We want to lose 4 stone without the struggle, without the sun cream going in your eyes, without the blisters, without your toenails falling off, without this, without that.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen. It's hard. Like people go the result and they go, oh, it's easy for you. Oh, it's easy for you. That's what people said to me. Oh, I couldn't do that. It's easy for you. You're fit. I'm like, I'm not. Here's my genetics tests, right? I've got them all. Have a look at that. Have a look at that bad boy. I've got horrific genetics, but I'll outwork them. I don't have to believe that. Like that's made me. Like, I can look at genetics and go. I can either change that and go, my genetics are not good. I haven't got the actinin-3 gene. I haven't got the protein that turns over muscle properly. So it says I can't build muscle. These are my genetics. Or I can go, again, I'll show you.
Yeah.
I'll show you. And people just go, oh, it's easy for you. Oh, it's easy for you. It's easy for you. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not easy. I'm just willing to do what you're not willing to do. I don't want to get comfortable. The year before, I did a boxing match and I fought an MMA fighter of 5 years. It scared the shit out of me. It doesn't make. I'm scared. It scares me. But I'm like, listen, I don't want to get to a point where you're constantly comfortable. Yeah. Comfortable is a place people don't realize. Comfortable is anxiety. Pre-lockdown, everyone's like, do you know what? If I can only stay at home, get paid to stay at home and do nothing, that would be great. Guess what? People are getting paid to stay at home and do nothing. How's that working out for you? It's horrific.
Yeah.
That's not what you want. People don't realize we need to be chasing something or aiming towards something, accepting how it is, but always going, how can I achieve this? And realizing it's not going to go your way. It's never going to go in a straight line. And one of the things that I like saying is, listen, you can't have success without failure, but we just expect success. Okay. You can't have admiration without criticism. It's not going to happen. You're not just going to have success and be admired. You're going to get criticized no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. People would have criticized me, guaranteed, for doing them 2 marathons. Oh, he's just doing that to look good.
Yeah.
not to raise money for the kids. Oh, he's done that for his own benefit, which of course I did. I did do it for my own benefit, which would be true. It made me feel good. I did it. It made me feel good. It gave me a purpose. Made me feel like I'm working towards something. So of course I did do it for my own benefit too. So like when people go, "Oh, you did it for your own benefit," I'd be like, instead of being, "How dare you?" No, you're right. Yeah, I did do it. I did it for my own benefit. It makes me feel, helping people makes me feel good. I get a value from that too. So I expect all the good things, okay, without success, without adversity, winning without losing, support and challenge. We expect just support. No, you're going to have challenge. It's going to happen. You have to have the right amount of challenge and support.
Yeah.
Like you can't have predators without prey. It doesn't work. If you just had predators, the world wouldn't go round. Ecosystems
they'd all be dead quite quick, wouldn't they?
Exactly. So the same as you can't have winning without losing. It has to work in equilibrium. So you have to go, and you have to expect it. You don't, as again, you don't, stocks and shares, right? People who invest in stocks and shares, they don't just go, they go, like mine at the moment. Like I'm investing in cryptocurrency and suddenly but it's gone like, you go, bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
You expect it. It's going to go down. A smart investor knows that he's not going to panic when it goes down. He's not going to sell and go, "Oh my God, I'm shitting myself." He knows it's going to go back up again. Same thing. You hit adversity, you're like, right, I've got adversity here. Things are going a bit wrong. What went wrong this week? Ask the right questions. What can I improve on? How do I overcome this hurdle? What's the strategy I need? Okay, write it down. Cool. Let's move forward. Bang, you're going to hit the next hurdle. Then what? Same questions. What do I need to do? Who can ask for help? People don't do that. They just panic and lose their heads and they go and panic by a toilet roll because they're trying to gain control.
Yeah.
Control's an illusion.
Yeah. I'm big into the F1 and last weekend, everyone was like, "Oh, how did Hamilton win? He's in the best car, blah, blah, blah. Of course he did. And I watched some interviews recently with him on winning his 7th world title and all that kind of stuff. And there was two things that happened in that race. One, he'd already raced from a low position on that circuit. So he'd already done it once, so then could backtrack to that. He then overrode the team's decision to come into the pits because back in, I think it was 2007, he crashed in the pit lane on bad tyres coming into the pits. He decided through the adversity he'd already faced by crashing out of the Grand Prix to override it and deal with that and pull back on that and then win. And it's actually, people forget that all these little things that happened in his life way back can then just loop back in and seed in.
Yeah. So there's no such thing as failure, only learning.
Yeah. Do you
think the point is there's someone else in the same car as him?
Correct. Yeah. Not doing as well. Spinning around in circles. Yeah. Do you think that it's what you said a while ago about, like, we have this like high-tech phone, but actually our brains are quite primitive and almost like the software of the older one? Is that sort of like the loop in why we want to be more comfortable? Do you think that will ever change, or do you think that's just how humans are? Like it
comes down to one thing: fear. Fear. We're always trying to stay safe. We're constantly trying to stay safe. As you say, this thing's old. Like before you know it, you could walk around. So people are right. We're the safest we've ever been. Right, we're the safest we've ever been. We have an abundance of food. We're more comfortable than we've ever been. We've got everything in demand. We could have food delivered to our door, but more people are anxious and depressed. Why? More people are struggling with anxiety and depression than ever before, but we've got it easier than ever before. We've got it easier than ever before.
Surely it's overwhelm, is it not? There's too many things, and not enough action, right? You say this all the time. Action beats anxiety.
Yeah, action beats anxiety. But the whole point is we've got it easier than ever before. It's easy. There's no challenge. So what we do, if there's no danger, right, we'll create danger in our heads. We're constantly looking for fear. We could walk around years ago, we could walk around the corner and there'd be a saber-toothed tiger. We've still got that's the same brain. It's no different. So it's looking for dangers. Like, if for example, you ever walked into Tesco's and gone, fuck am I in here for? Have you ever done that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know why you do that?
Door frames. I heard that was it.
No, you've gone into a different environment, or you've walked into a room and you've gone, come in here for something.
Yeah.
It's gone. Your brain works unconsciously. Your conscious mind, if we look at this, is the tiny little bit in the corner. Your unconscious mind is constantly working in the background. Like, consciously, you couldn't pull up all, like, unconscious. You've got all these memories. Everything that's ever happened is in the background, and you can bring it to your conscious memory. But conscious mind's constantly scanning. So if you walk into a different room, it's looking for dangers. It's looking for a way that you could die. It's not looking for food like that. It's scanning the room for dangers. So it deletes that information. So it's gone, right, I'm going to delete that. And then we're going to focus on this new information, which you could potentially die. So our brain deletes that information. That's why you walk into a room and you're gone, nope, I have no idea where I'm in here.
Yeah.
So you're constantly trying to override that. You're constantly trying to stay safe. So the brain, like, if you're at home, right, for people with anxiety, they will create problems, right? The easier it gets, the more problems we'll create. The more fear we'll create, because there's nothing to really be scared of, really.
Yeah, in the grand scheme.
They say coronavirus, right? But logically, 99.96%. Like, if you go logically, most people don't think logically; they think emotionally. They make the decisions based on. Hence, why you could run away with a story, and then you believe that story. Your brain is trying to present a danger, like, even though it might be a most insignificant thing, your brain's still going, you could die. You could potentially die. And you're feeling like your heart's pumping. It's like the same reason why you're in a cinema. You know you're completely safe. You're in a cinema. You're in front of a TV, but you're shitting yourself. You're scared. You're like, you don't want to look, and your heart's pumping away. You're like, I don't like horror films, but you're completely safe. Your brain doesn't know that. That's why you can go into VR. You know you're completely safe, and you've seen them on the balance beams, and they're on the VR, right? And they're like, oh my God, and they're feeling all this fear because the brain's trying to keep them safe the whole time. So we're constantly trying to override this prehistoric brain that doesn't realize that we're mainly completely safe. Your brain's just trying to keep you safe. Hence why you do the easier stuff. You want to stay safe. You've got to override that. You've got to go, do you know what? Brain, listen, I know what you're doing. Go fuck yourself. I'm not listening to you today.
Yeah. What's what you said to me about the
that's
run,
why
right?
I like
the 5K.
That's why I like doing the runs. Yeah. That's why I like doing the runs, right? Your brain, you'll hear all the stories come out. Your brain will tell you stories. But I like doing these Swift races as well. So my brain, like, I'm completely focused. I'm completely present. When I'm running, when you're going fast, you can hear your brain start telling you stories because it wants to slow you down. It goes, didn't sleep very well last night, Rob. Do you know what? You probably haven't fueled up enough. Listen, don't worry. If you slow down, you've still done pretty well.
Yeah.
And you'll hear these stories and the self-talk come out. When you're in that proper going for it, your brain will go, listen, slow down. There's danger here. You could die. And I'm going, no, you won't. No, you won't. It's just pain. You can override it. Your brain's trying to trick you. It's tricking you into trying to slow down. It wants to conserve energy. It wants to slow down. It would be like, oh, do you know what? I hear it all. And that's why I like doing it, because I'm sadistic and I like hearing the stories come out, because you'll go, when I'm at AstroTuff and I'm working really hard. So AstroTuff's one of the business I've got. So I'll be working really hard. I'll be competing. So I've got this new person who's really good. I'm like, right, I'm going to compete against him. And it'll be like, listen, Rob, you've done well keeping up with him. No. And I'm like, no, you're going to take his soul today. You're going to ruin him. But you don't need to. Listen, you've got up early. You've got a hard day. That's what your brain does. You've got a hard day. You've got another training session coming up. So just take it easy. I'm like, no. No. That's what you'll hear the stories come in. That's why I enjoy going into that sadistic bit, because the stories will start coming. And I'm training myself to block the stories out. So I did Johnny said about the 5K. So I've been trying to build you can't go to the gym. I'm like building my 5K time. And he's like, how do you beat your 5K time? I'm like, you fuck your stories off. And it's not easy. There is obviously loads of different factors that come into it.
Yeah.
Loads of different factors. How did you sleep? How did you do this? But I'm like, right, I'm going for it. Give myself a target. I know what my target is. I'm just narrowing in and I'm laser focused on what I need to get. Right. Last time it was like 1928. I know I need to be 1928. I know I need to put myself in pain. I know it's going to be uncomfortable. This is not going to be easy. The story's going to come in. So you're running, the story's coming in, and you're like, I can hear them coming. Cool. I know you was coming. I knew you were coming. I knew you were going to try and trick me. And that's what I do in my head. Like you have to, your self-talk. It's like, listen, self-talk is massively important for anything you do. People haven't got control of their self-talk or their inner voice.
Do you have any tips to defeat that, apart from just telling it to shut up?
Yeah,
are there any things that you can do?
Yeah, and you know what it is. I say it to you all the time. It's just a simple question. Is it true? You're tired today. Is that true? Like, listen, if you need a glass of wine tonight because you're tired. Is that true? You've had a hard week. You need to relax with a glass of wine, or you need a takeaway. You've had a hard week. You can reward yourself with a takeaway. Is that true?
Is that true? Yeah. Actually, I listened to that book. I should put it down in underneath this. Byron Katie, isn't it?
Loving What Is.
Yeah. Really good book.
So is it true? Yeah, it's an amazing book, but it's just a simple process. People overcomplicate stuff. Things are simple, but we're humans and we like to think, do you know what? It can't be that simple. We need to overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
Do you know what? If I go on a diet, do you know what I'm going to do? Instead of just tracking my input and output, right? That's the easy way to do it. Consistency over time. If I track my input and output, for example, Apple Watch, I've got this Whoop band that tracks my output. Right? If I track my input and I know my output's higher than my input, I'll lose weight. But do you know what I'm going to do? That's too easy. I'm going to do a vegan, ketogenic paleo diet, okay, with just meat.
Focusing on macros.
I'm going to eat I'm going to eat for 2 hours a day with calorie cycling and carbohydrate cycling. That's what I'm going to do because that sounds too easy. That's what we do. We don't believe the easy stuff. Consistency over time. The first chapter in the book is keep it simple. Have the simple stuff. Before you go to any advanced stuff, have you got the simple stuff right first?
Yeah.
Most people haven't. How are you sleeping? What's your energy levels like? How well are you hydrated? How many calories are you taking in a day? How many calories you're expending per day before you go to anything else? Simple, but can't be that simple.
But it's interesting because those 2 points almost conflict with the path of least resistance, because you said at the beginning that like our brains want to take the path.
Simple doesn't mean it's easy.
Right. Right. Yeah.
If it was easy, everyone would be lean, everyone would be fit, everyone would be healthy. It's not easy. Simplicity is hard. Simplicity is the hardest thing in the world to do because you've got to do it day after day after day after day. It's monotonous and boring. It is boring, but it's simple. It's the simple processes. How do I do my mental health? I journal every day. Do breathing. I drink 2, 3, 4 liters of water. I make sure I exercise. Simplicity over day, then I tick the box off. I've done it. Next day, same processes. Doesn't mean it's easy. You're fighting against. Remember, the path of least resistance. It's not what people do. They tell stories. I haven't got time to track my food. Have you not? I haven't got time to track your food. Give me your fucking phone.
Is that really
let's
true?
Go into your screen. Is that true? Go on your screen time. Do you want to tell me anything before I go into your screen time and I bullshit, call you a liar, and I tell you you're full of shit? Is there anything you want to tell me? They can't even spit it out. Like, you're full of shit. I'm going to prove you're full of shit. So you spent 3 hours on Pornhub. Wow. Okay. 2 hours on X-Hamster. Okay, stop writing these down if you're listening, right? 3 hours on Instagram, but you didn't have the time to track your food. No, you saw more benefits of doing that than you did that. That's the truth.
Yeah.
There's more benefits to going on Pornhub than there was tracking your food. It's more painful to track your food than to go on that. You took the easy path. The hard path wasn't it simple. It's not easy. Getting your food scales out and weight and stuff before you cook it, and then spending 1 minute in putting it into Fitness Pal is not easy. Depending on your perception of it, some people it is piss easy. Some people it's really hard.
Yeah.
Training for 1 hour a day, right? Simple. Your output. It's not easy, especially when you're going against all your feelings. It doesn't mean it's easy. It's bloody hard. Hard. Writing a book is easy, depending on your perception. You'll probably say it's hard.
Well, no, because I'm friends with you. So, one, I don't have that privilege. And two, based on like everything that we've ever spoken about, and even through this, it's just one word at a time. Like, figure out the key components of said book,
simple
recipes, what calories are. I don't know, sleep as a foundation. That's what I like to use. It sort of spells everything from that, and then you just one word at a time on those different topics. It's
simple saying: data over drama. Data over drama. If you don't know the data, you'll create drama. But I'm like, I can't lose weight. What's the data? Tell me. How many hours you're sleeping? How many calories taken in? What's your average output for a day? So I can go on my phone and I can tell them now, if I go onto so what I get people at Astroturf to do, my athletes to do, is they've got a Whoop band, and I can go on this. So I can go to here, turn my network on so it connects, and I can tell you what my output is for every day, because that doesn't come off my wrist and it tracks everything. Sleep's horrendous at the moment because I'm a little bit stressed, I'm not gonna lie, due to situations that are not in my control.
Yeah.
So if I go on that, I can tell everyone at Astro, I don't know if you can see that, but my monthly output, my average is 2,942 calories a day. I can tell that. My strain is 16.4. So like people down here, for example, Dan Renton down the bottom, he might complain he's not losing weight. He's averaging 2,476 calories a day. His strain is the lowest strain rating, which means he's not putting effort in. I can see his data. So if he comes to me complaining, I'd be like, Dan, your average daily strain for the last month is 8.9.
Right.
Okay. Mine's 16.4. Okay. 14, like I can go through the data and we're not, rather than the drama.
Yeah. I guess that might lead to one of the questions that we had then, which was, so someone started listening to a book on burnout. So how does one manage their mindset for these important foundational changes amidst all of the other things that have to get done? So
go on, say that again. Because I just turned my phone off and get it out of the way. It's a distraction.
So she's recently started listening to a book on burnout. So how does one manage their mindset for these important foundational changes amidst all of the other things that we've got to get done?
And you do it, you prioritize, you write it down. So it sounds like burnout is overwhelm. So overwhelm, write down the list of priorities, what you've got to do, 1 to 10, keep it simple, tick it off. What's your priority right now? So first of all, your health should be number one priority, always. Reason being, like people go, oh, it's business. But if you can't do anything without your health. Your health is, so you've got to prioritize what's number one, and family, obviously. Health, and like I'm always saying, I put myself first, because if I'm bollocks, I can't help anyone else. I can't help my family.
Yeah.
So it's like health is number one. Book it in your diary. It's a non-negotiable. Book it in your diary. Then what's next? Book it in your diary. Take the overwhelm out. How do you get rid of burnout? And then reset. Make sure you have some time off. You have recovery days. Like most people, like they're trying to like hit. Your central nervous system will get overloaded. You'll get bollocksed. And I've done it before. And you'll be on the floor. You'll be bollocksed. You'll be like me, crying in a hotel room for 3 hours. That's not what you want. That's not what you want to do. It's not great for you. No. So you need to go, right, I'm going to book this in. I'm going to book in a break or something to look forward to. Right? I'm going to work from here to here. This is my reward. I'm going to go away with the family. No work. I'm going to do this. Weekend off training. So you strategize. It comes down to a strategy. Strategize it Put what's the priority, put it in. If you're overwhelmed, what do I need to do? Like, she needs to expand, like he or she needs to expand on that question more. Like if I had them on, I could go, right. And then I'd ask the right questions. By asking the right questions, I'd figure out what the problem is. And from there, I'd ask the right questions. So she comes up or he comes up with a strategy. So it's like, what's your priority? Book it in. Book in recovery days. Book in weekends away. Don't go 100%. Burn out. Listen, I've done it. Like, it's not a nice place to be. You think you're going to carry on. You're not a machine. You're human, unfortunately. Humans don't work like machines, and we burn out. We're emotional creatures. We get overwhelmed. And then your body will start telling you, and you'll start getting ill. Like my body tells me, like, see this, I've got alopecia, which is here. Like my mum at the moment's got like people listening, you probably know, terminal cancer. So she's been diagnosed with like cancer spread to a bone, breast, lung, abdomen. It's stressful. It's like my missus is in. I didn't see my partner for 17 weeks. One of my businesses, because of COVID, had to shut down. Like my body's coming out and telling me that I'm stressed. Like, by doing this kind of stuff, it's telling me that you need to fucking. I was like, right, I need to come to Liverpool 2 weeks, like regroup, time off. Like that didn't help that I was running 2 marathons either. So I'm like, bang, I haven't seen my missus for 17 weeks. My mum's ill, fucking running 2 marathons. Right. Sometimes you gotta go. But I was like, right, I've got to do these marathons for this kid. I have to do it. I know it's going to end up killing me for a little bit, but I've already said I'll do it. But then you have to go, right, I need to regroup, reset. Because your body will tell you, like mine did beforehand. I had a meltdown in a hotel room because I told everyone I was okay when I wasn't. I was lying. I was struggling. I was a carer for my best mate. I was looking after my mum while she had first bout with cancer. And I was full of shit. And it will come back to bite you in the ass every single time. Because it has for me every single time. So strategize. What's your priority? What's the priority? Ask yourself the right questions. I can't find out until I tell, but ask yourself the right questions to get the right answers and then the right outcome.
Would that be like I guess to wrap it up, because we've been chatting for a while, like if you were to give 3 like takeaways to implement, what would you say?
3 takeaways to implement. First of all, be proactive. Okay. Question your stories. Is it true? Because your stories are not real, and they're bullshit. Control's illusion. Your thoughts are illusion. It's all, most of the world is all your perception. It's all bullshit. And so put yourself first, and that's physically and mentally, because everything follows on. If you're in, everyone's heard, if you're on a plane, if the oxygen mask come down, they say put your mask on first before you help others. That's the reason. If you're incapacitated, you can't help anyone else. Fill your own. There's another analogy. Fill your own cup. If your cup's empty, there's no water to pour. You can't give any water to your kids. If your cup is full, you can share it out.
That's deep. That's deep.
Yeah, but that's the way we got to look at it. We got to fill your own cup first. Fill your own cup, and then there's more to pour out. If you're empty and you're giving everything to everyone else, there's nothing to give. You are doomed. That's why you're like people go, oh, I'm concentrating on myself. It's not selfish to be selfless. You work on yourself first. It's not selfless to be selfish. It's not selfless to be selfish. Put yourself first. Your health comes first, because then you're in a better position to help everyone else. The best thing for anxiety, depression is exercise. Scientifically proven. By doing this, you're putting yourself first. The knock-on effect is massive. Then constantly reset. You have to have 4 things to be successful. You need to be accountable to someone. You're accountable to Johnny. You need a strategy. Johnny's giving you the strategy. You need a mentor. Johnny's your mentor. And then you need support. And that's what this is for, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
4 things in place to be successful in, no matter what you do. So always think of that.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nailed it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to get you back on again at some point, maybe to go in and delve in deeper. Maybe we can do an actual live so that we can, like,
cool.
you can ask the right questions and stuff. But yeah, loved it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
No worries, mate. I did one the other day for an ex-footballer who's now a trainer.
Yeah.
It's your competition. Oh.
Who came first? Who did you know first? And then
you.
Oh, yes, I win.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm sure I'll catch up with you a bit later on today. I've got to go and train and put myself first now. So hope you have a good day.
Nice one. Love that.
Can't wait to read the book.
Right.
Thanks, brother.
See you later, dude.
Bye.